Hi there and welcome to the channel. You're joining me on this session for 48 hours carp fishing on Ladywood Lakes in Mirfifield West Yorkshire, and this is Ladywood Lake. It's an absolute stunning venue. It's a 10-acre gravel pit with over, wait for it, 450 carp in this 10-acre lake, and round about 250 of those go over £20, and round about 70 to 70 plus carp over £30, with 5 carp over the magical £40 mark. The lake record is Kamara at 46.5 pounds. So if I was to catch a 40 out of here on this session, that would be a new UK PB for me, and I'll be doing a little dance and jumping around and all sorts going on. But the weather, let's talk about the weather. It's summer. It's been 30 to 35 degrees plus for a whole week, so scorching hot. I've done 24 hours over in the other end of the lake there. With 24 hours to go, I've moved pegs. Peg 3 became available, so I jumped in peg 3 straight away, and within probably 20-25 minutes of being set up in peg 3, look at what we've got. Left hand side rod went screaming off, and yes, there is a carp in the sling. So let's get out and take a look at it. It is a stunner. Now, when I saw this, I actually thought it was a lot bigger, but it isn't a lot bigger. He's had a good rest in the margin now, very good rest in the margin. Now, when I saw this, I actually thought it was going to be a lot bigger than what it was, but it's 18.5 pound. Lovely and dark. 18.5 pound, my first Ladywood Lake carp. 24 hours in the wrong swim, 25 minutes in the right swim. Moving can pay off. So, well chuffed. First carp of the session with 24 hours to go. Let's see if I can sneak a few more out, because there is quite a few cruising around this end of the lake. Let's take a look at the other side, because it is as black as your hat. I know, my hat is brown. It's just an old saying. There we go. 18.5 pound. Ladywood carp. Stunning. Now, normally I'd wipe the camera lens before I take any videos or any photos, but on this occasion I forgot, so my apologies. There we go. 18.5 pound. First carp of the session. Off you go. That's that carp put back, and the left hand side rod recast back out with some more bait over the top of it. Using pallets on this session, good old fashioned pallets with some of the 10mm bug boilies. Anyway, that's all of my mess cleaned up, and the bivvy all set up and everything good, ready to crack on with the remaining hours of this session. So let's take a look at the rig that I just caught that carp on, but I'm going to do that inside the bivvy because it's coming up to 12 o'clock and it's already about 28 degrees. Mega hot today again. So 28 degrees outside, much cooler in the Questifire Mark III bivvy. It's actually really nice and cool in here, I'm definitely keeping the bivvy. I won't be getting rid of it. The rig I'm using on this session is a spinner rig. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details of how to tie it. I'm just going to say this. I'm using it as a bottom bait rig, fishing on hard gravel with a DNA SLK hard hooker. And to make it a bit different than most carp anglers, I've been doing this. Grab yourself a pair of scissors and trim the hard hooker down. Now, I've been doing this loads just lately in my carp fishing, carp angling, and it has been producing me a lot of bites. Now, the main reason I'm doing this though is because I'm fishing little 6 and 8 mil pallets, so I want the hook bait to pretty much match those 6 and 8 mil pallets. There we go, that's trimmed down just nice, just like that. So 2 rods on the deck. Let me tell you how I'm fishing the 3rd rod. As a vehicle is reversing. This vehicle is reversing. This is my adjustable zig rig kit setup. If you've never seen it before, you're probably thinking, what is that contraption? But it's very simple to set up and use. Main line goes through the big ring swivel you can see there, onto a boom section with the lead attached to that, and then the line passes through the zig float, attaches onto a small micro ring swivel just inside the anti-tangle tubing, and then that main hook link is just over 3 foot or so long, and there's my zigger liner with a little yellow CC Moore zig hook bait on there. While I was sitting back in the bivvy having a brew, I've tied up 3 different zig hook links. Now, the first one is red on a Nash zig screw, just to spice things up a little bit, and then the other 2 are on the Fox zigger liners, and they are in matching colours, yellow and black. It is really noisy on Ladywood lakes at times because there's a train track right behind me, there's a main road over there, and the entrance is just over there somewhere, so it seems like there's always something going on in the background. So let me say this while it's quiet now. I've got a yellow zig out, as you've seen, and I'm fishing that zig just about 3 to 6 inches underneath the surface, which is where I've seen the carp cruising along. So that may do a bite at that depth. But if I haven't, I will be reducing it by at least a couple of foot every hour. But it's probably about 12 foot deep out there, and I want to stay in the top 1/3 of that layer. That is the hottest. It is mega hot anyway, so the water's really warm in general, but the lower down you get to the bottom, it will start cooling. So leave it on the surface at the moment. If the yellow zig doesn't do me a bite in the next 4 hours or so, I will swap that over either to a red or a black. Now, I think we're on about 8 minutes of the video, but in my life, that's been several hours, and I've moved pegs, I've tackled down, I've set back up again, I've actually caught a carp. So being in the right location now, location is key when you're fishing. It always has been and always will be. 24 hours in the wrong swim, but that was just because the lake was busy when I got here. Soon as peg 3 came free, I was round here like a rat up a drain pipe, and yeah, carp on the bank. So moving has paid off, location is definitely key, tactics are working for now. So all of that being said, it's definitely time for me to have a cup of tea. Got myself that well-earned, well-deserved cup of tea. One thing I haven't covered yet is the spots that I'm fishing, so let me tell you where I've got the rigs and why. Okay, let's start with the right hand side rod. The right hand side rod is on the zig, as I mentioned, a yellow zigger liner with a little CC Moore zig hooker, and it's just fishing at about 8 wraps towards those 2 trees in the center of the screen, the 2 tallest trees there, and I'm fishing that in 8 foot of water, as I mentioned, 3 inch to 6 inch under the surface. The middle rod is in line with the tallest evergreen trees there now, just with that little red arrow bouncing up and down above them. But I'm only fishing 4 rod lengths out, not very far at all, and that is just in front of a weed bed on a lovely hard gravel spot. And same for the left hand side rod, the rod that did me the bite, that is fishing the other side of the weed bed in about 6.5 foot of water. Left and the middle rod not fishing very far out at all, that is the shallowest water. Then it carries on going down to about 10 to 12 foot. So having had a bite off the left rod, I am expecting to get another bite off the left rod or the middle rod. Zig fishing though, on the other hand, is a little bit more challenging for me. I do a lot of it. I'm not always great at it. Some days I get it right, and other days it's just hit or miss. So we'll see how that zig rig works out. I will keep changing the depths and changing the colours through the rest of this session though. But for now, I think it's definitely sit back, see if I can get another bite, another run, keep introducing the bait little and often, and see what happens. 6 o'clock and I have been working that zig rod for about 6 hours and nothing. Like I said, zig fishing can be a bit hit or miss, even if carp are swimming around on the surface right over where my zig is. It's just one of them things. Carp are cruising, but just beyond where I've got me rigs in that slightly deeper water where the zig rig is. So maybe I need to be a bit more patient, because working the swim is one thing, but it's knowing when to work the swim and when to sit back and do nothing. So I've been working the swim. I think it's time to just sit back and wait to see what happens. Carp have been coming out of this peg before I got into it. I think the guy had 5. The other pegs either side I've been fishing as well, they've been doing bites. So there is carp in this area. I don't really like swapping and changing too much, because I am a basic carp angler. I know lots about carp fishing and carp rigs and all of that lot, and how many rigs you can use in a day, but I do believe that the setup I'm using at the moment is okay. Spinner rigs, Ronnie rigs, whatever you want to call them, that is a good setup. I would use a normal standard hair rig as I normally do, but if I want to swap over to a pop-up, it does mean, look at all the little fry jumping there. That's the ADHD got me distracted, that is. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if I wanted to use a pop-up, I don't have to tie a different rig or swap hooks or anything. I can just add a little pop-up onto the Ronnie rig and put a little bit of rig putty on it to critically balance it down. Carp fishing can be a bit demanding. Ladywood Lakes isn't the easiest of lakes. Despite the fact there is a large head of carp in here, it is not an easy lake by any means. If you're on the fish and you've worked out how to catch them, and you can be consistent, no matter how hard that lake is, if you're getting it right, you will continue to catch them. So I've turned 0 into 1 carp, but that's probably the hardest part. Catching the first carp is definitely the hardest part. So can I turn 1 carp into 2? Let's see. It's been another really hot day here at Ladywood Lakes, and I'm actually looking forward to the cooler evenings because the temperatures are a bit more bearable. It's now 9:20 and I've decided it's probably a good idea to get some bait out for the rest of the night now. So just firing out some pallets in the catapult. Because I'm only fishing at short range, it just makes sense to use the catapult. And I'm also putting out a good pocket full of the 10mm bug boilies all over the 3 rods, creating a big spread of bait. and this is why it's been really difficult on this session, try and catch carp off the surface, because there's so many ducks. I did try feed them off with some dog biscuits, but that was a pointless exercise. Before I call you tonight, I just wanted to ask you all a quick question. How many of you have been out to Ladywood lakes? What peg did you fish in and how did you get on? Let me know how you did if you've fished Ladywood lakes before in the comments down below. Now I'm going to blow my own trumpet a little bit here. I actually thought I was going to catch more carp through today because there's been so many out in front of me. Carp fishing, carp angling is a bit like that, ups and downs. Hi there, it's just gone 7 o'clock on Thursday morning. There is a lovely breeze coming across Ladywood Lake this morning, so it's a very pleasant morning to be sitting out having a cup of tea waiting for one of them rods go off. Now, last night I did say I hope I can catch another carp through the night, so let's take a quick flashback at what happened in the early hours of this morning as my middle rod went screaming off. Middle rod missing, 2:30 in the morning, and we have a lovely, lovely, lovely carp. Nice common. Let's get it weighed. Take a look at him. Happy days. A lovely 19.4 common. Again, thought it was going to go 20 pound, but no, just shy of the 20 pound mark. 19.4. But okay. Carp number 2 of the session, again taken on a bottom bait. Great, get that rod back out and see if there's more to come. You never know, you never know. Real result though, real result. So that's an 18.5 mirror and now a 19.4 common. Very nice. Well, I had that run at just gone 2:30. It is now coming up to 3 o'clock and my alarm is going to be going off in a few hours, but I'm wide awake now, so I think I might as well stay awake and yeah, we'll get the kettle on and sit and watch the sun come up. Look at the smile. So yeah, there we go, another carp on this session. So 2 carp landing, can't complain at that. Couple of key things I want to point out that paid off for me in this session. The first thing is moving pegs. Don't be afraid to pack up and move pegs. It can be the most important decision that you make, especially if you are intent on landing a few carp. Location is key. The second thing, getting the rigs right for the right spots. Now I've been using a bottom bait with a hard hooker because I'm fishing on a rock hard gravel spot, and that paid off too. The third thing is perseverance. You've got to be patient in carp fishing, carp angling. Working the swim is one thing, but learning when to sit back and relax and enjoy your session is another. If you've been following the channel for quite a while, thank you for your ongoing support. It is really appreciated. If this was your first time visit to the channel and you enjoyed the video, give me a like, feel free to comment, and also hit the subscribe button, and then you'll be up to date with all of the latest Committed to Carp Bedtime Stories episodes. My name's Lee. You've been watching CTC Committed to Carp. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.